One of the best things we did when visiting Las Vegas was take a 2-day road trip to visit a couple national parks. Come along!
Welcome to VO's Travel. Where to go and what to see. With kids!
The first place we stopped was the Grand Canyon. And the first thing you should know about the Grand Canyon is there are 3 different spots to visit. The first one is only about 2 hours from Las Vegas and is seen by the Red Circle. It is on an Indian reservation and owned privately, so it is a lot more pricier to go to see that location. But if you keep driving another 2 hours to the Blue Dot, you will come to the South Rim. That is part of the national parks and is where we visited on this trip. The last spot you can visit is the Yellow Circle, which is the North Rim. It does take a little longer to get there, and there are not as many things to see or do as the South Rim. So we started our 4-hour drive from Las Vegas to the Grand Canyon, and we ran into a really nice surprise. Starting in Kingsman and all the way to Williams, Arizona, you are on Route 66, and there are so many fun areas to stop and take pictures at. You are on Route 66 until you get to Williams, Arizona. That's the point where you turn north and head into the Grand Canyon, but definitely take time to stop in Williams. It was a super cute town, a great place to grab lunch, and lots of fun places to take pictures at. So you head north from Williams, and then you arrive in the Grand Canyon. Where are we at?
Grand Canyon. Yeah.
What are we gonna see?
We're gonna see some squirrels. If you guys ever go to the Grand Canyon, do not try to touch them. Because if you get bit by them, you're gonna have to go to the hospital. So learn your lesson, kids. It's a huge slit made out of water. But all the water's gone and it's dried out. And there's a big slit in the earth.
Cool. There's actually a little bit of river down below. It's called the Colorado River.
And you can look down into it.
All right, where are we going first?
Mather Point.
Mather Point. It's right up here.
Yeah.
So we had decided beforehand that we didn't want to spend too much time at the Grand Canyon. You could spend a whole day or two there, do some hikes up and around the canyon rim, even down into the canyon. But we just decided about an hour or two was enough for our visit that day. We did stop at Mather Point, and there were about 4 or 5 different lookouts just within Mather Point. So it was a great area to stop and look at. I would highly recommend it. There are some areas to go if you are there for sunset and sunrise. And then on the way out of the park, you really need to stop at the general store in Tusayan. And who knows if I pronounced that right, but they have a Starbucks, so all was right in the world. But one of my biggest tips was to stop at that general store. The gift shop in there was way better than the gift shop at Mather Point. The prices were better, and there was 200 or 300% more items there at that gift shop. So from there, we headed north into Page, Arizona, and because of the virus, the quickest highway was shut off, so we had to go down and around, which added another hour or two to our trip. But let me tell you, that last hour before getting to Page, Arizona was one of the most beautiful road trips we have ever been on. The scenery kept changing from all different types of landscapes, but everybody in the car was just pointing out the windows, oohing and aahing over the mountain that we saw or the colors that we saw. I mean, it was just drop dead gorgeous. When we pulled into Page, Arizona, it was about dinner time, and we found a place called Big John's Barbecue. Where are we at? Big John's Barbecue! The food was out of this world. We did sit inside, but after getting our table, we realized we should have sat outside. There was a huge eating area, and the environment outside was just amazing. We chose to stay at the Home 2 Suites, and wouldn't you know, it was literally a 1-minute walk to the Glen Canyon Dam overlook. But if you are taking little kids with you, please keep them close by. There were a lot of areas that could have been really dangerous. However, the sights there were unbelievable. How you doing?
Not very good.
What are you doing?
Can I go up?
No. Hey guys.
Hey.
That's Glen Canyon Dam. The next morning we woke up and went to Horseshoe Bend. It was $10 per car to park, but the scenery was absolutely worth it. The walk down to Horseshoe Bend was 3/4 of a mile, and it wasn't too bad because it was mostly downhill. It did get really hot in a really quick amount of time, but the scenery was absolutely worth it. There were definitely some dangerous points, so hang on to your kids at this location as well. On the way back up, it was mostly uphill, and that trek got really tiring. We did take advantage of one of the 2 cooling stations that provided a little bit of shade on the way up. But if you go to Page, Arizona, you cannot miss Horseshoe Bend. From Page, Arizona, we headed to Zion National Park. It was about an hour and 45-minute drive, and if you do go into Zion National Park, make sure you enter from the east location. That drive in and of itself was just breathtaking. I feel like I've been saying that word a lot during this video, but let me just tell you, the scenery that we saw during this road trip just blew our minds. We stopped at the main visitor center once we got into the park and made sure to get our cancellation stamps for our passport books. From there, we headed on down across the road and down to the Virgin River, where we cooled off a little bit because it was 99 degrees down inside of that canyon. As you leave Zion heading south, you immediately come to a little town called Springdale. It was super cute. We would definitely stay there overnight if we went back. There were also a lot of restaurants to choose from. The drive from Zion National Park back to Las Vegas was about 2.5 hours. If you do take a vacation to Las Vegas, please do yourself a favor and take this little road trip. It could definitely be extended for a couple days if you'd like, but all in all, we left on a Saturday morning and stayed one night and then got home late Sunday evening. It was totally worth it. And where else can you go to see so many national parks in such a small time frame? Also, a little disclaimer, because of the coronavirus, we were not able to see Antelope Canyon. That will definitely be on our list next time we head out west. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love a subscription and a thumbs up. And remember to choose joy and take all of the pictures.